Micro Nightmare, thank you very much for the super chat. Vesper, I've been a fan of you and Tempest since the debut, but I never show up to watch live because of Southeast Asia time zone. Question, how did you beat Kodor in a single sitting? I've been dying to know. Okay, I beat Kodor in a single sitting because of one, like, very simple reason. I never owned KOTOR. I borrowed it from a friend. I remember who I borrowed it from. I borrowed KOTOR from a high school friend, and then I had to beat it as quickly as I could. So I just stayed up and I beat it in like 27 hours, something like that. It was over a 24-hour period. It was during spring break, and then I beat it in like one sitting. And then I returned it over. That was like the weirdest person to borrow it from too. That was the strangest person to borrow it from too. That was from a friend that was not a friend. We became a friend through KOTOR. That was like incredible. Like, what the fuck? I did not expect you to play this game. What? So I was in high school just doing my own thing, being a weirdo in my corner. Because this is like a meme, right? I know this is a meme, so people are going to make fun of it, right? I was like sitting in my own corner doing nothing. And then like a goth girl, came up to me and she was like, hey, do you like Star Wars? Like a goth girl came up to me like while I was at lunch, like minding my own business. I was like, hey, do you like Star Wars? And then I looked up and my immediate reaction was like, oh, she's going to roast me. Like her friends are watching and she's going to be like, ha, nerd, you like Star Wars? And I was like, ah, shit, I'm about to get roasted. And I remember I had like my notebook in front of me. I was like studying I was doing like homework or something for a class. And then I remember my exact response. In a panic, I was like, no. She's like, hey, do you like Star Wars? And I was like, no. And I remember the scathing look that she gave me. Just like an absolute scathing look, right? And she said, you're a terrible liar. I know you like Star Wars. You're a terrible liar. I know you like Star Wars. And I remember I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I do. Like very defensive. It's like I'm prepared to get made fun of, right? I was like, yeah, I do. So this is the backstory. She had an older brother that loved Star Wars games, specifically the like Rogue Squadron, TIE Fighter, the space like battle sims, the space fighter sims, like, and he bought KOTOR because he's like, oh, I love everything Star Wars. He got about like 30 minutes into KOTOR and then he dropped the game because he's like, this is not the type of game that I like. So she picked it up and she beat the entire game and she loved the game. And this was somebody that hated Star Wars. Like, she made fun of her older brother for liking Star Wars because it's for nerds. So she played through all of KOTOR as like a complete newbie and she loved it. And she was looking for someone to talk about it with. So she was like, have you played KOTOR? And then I knew about it and I was like, no, I haven't. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna lend it to you. You have to play it over spring break. And I was like, okay. And so she lent it to me, and then spring break, this was like the week before spring break, and then I played it in one sitting, and then I gave it back to her afterwards. And then like for the rest, like we were buddies. We were like, I wouldn't say we were friends, but we hung out maybe like once a month, a couple times a month, and then we would just like chat about KOTOR. I beat KOTOR in one sitting. All right, so people are asking me like, how did you do it? Not my proudest moment, but I had the guide. She gave me the game and the guide book. Like this thing is like thick as hell. This is someone that like didn't like video games. She thought video games were for nerds and she loathed Star Wars, but then KOTOR was like a banger. It was just good. Station, thank you very much for the super chat. Is Goth Brendo still around? No, we lost contact like after high school completely. Like I don't have like a Facebook. I don't have anything like that. Like I don't really like social media that much. So there's like no way for me to keep up. Octoglaze, was she your first crush? No, my first crush was Carmen Sandiego. 3D pig disgusting. 3D PD. I went too far. We're ending the stream. Goodbye, everybody. I hope to see you this evening. Goodbye. We're done. I'm getting unhinged.